It's indeed the melodic voices there of Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton in the morning time. 20 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock. Good morning to you, Grenada, Kayaku, Petey, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, to you, wherever you are. It's another great day in God's wonderful creation, and we have been grateful, truly, truly, truly grateful that we are alive and well, that wherever you are, that you are up and about. You may not feel as perfectly fine as you did yesterday, but the fact that you are hearing me, it's enough reasons to be grateful that He set us, He's woken us up, and He set us on our way. I'm Joseph Cadore, and welcome to Good Morning Grenada. Good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening, good night to you, depending on which part of the diaspora that you are locked in from. Yesterday's all gone, as I say to you, today, tomorrow is yet to come. It is the future. Today, we cherish and we wallow in the beauty and the gift of today, which is the present. That's all that matters. You may have probably have some heartaches from yesterday, but that's okay. It is okay. It's part of life. It's an experience. It is an experience, and you have to appreciate everything that it throws at you. Because if you don't, then you've missed it all together. We're going to kickstart things today with the word of the day, because every day we're trying to help you to expand your vocabulary. And today, the word for the day is predatory. And predatory is an adjective. And this predatory, P-R-E-D-A-T-O-R-Y, predatory. And by definition, it's relating to or practicing plunder, pillage, or inclined or intended to injure or exploit others for personal gain or profit, as in predatory pricing practices. The word for today, it is also adapted from predation. And just to give you some examples of the word predatory, my character was basically a very predatory version of myself. Yes? Hawks are predatory and may pose a danger to rabbits and other small pets. The company made millions for investors, but clearly engaged in predatory lending practices. The word for today, predatory. And we're probably just going to look at some words that are rapacious, predacious. Yes. The word for today, predatory. Again, it is spelled P-R-E-D-A-T-O-R-Y. I hope for whatever reason you're not engaging in any unscrupulous and predatory behavior. This morning, if ever, it's a good time to consider your ways. The word for today, predatory, is an adjective, and it is spelled P-R-E-D-A-T-O-R-Y. Every day we try to help each other to expand on our vocabulary and take it to the next level. Remember, whatever you've learned yesterday is all history. It doesn't matter at all. We went in quick look at time is against us. What is the thought of the day? The thought of the day: life is beautiful. It is beautiful. 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute will not come again in your lifetime. Avoid fights, angriness, and speak lovely to every person. The thought of the day for today, the 9th of November. Life is beautiful. 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute will not come again in our entire lives. Avoid fights, angriness, and speak lovely to every person. And as I thought of the word of the day, it also led me to one of the prose pieces. I'm just going to run through it quickly for you. Desiderata, go placidly. And it basically is one of the inspirational pieces I've known all my life that says, go placidly amidst the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. It says, speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and ignorant. They too have their story. As of today, the 9th of November, I declare to you, and you have to say to yourself, that today I, Joseph Cadore, will avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are a vexation to my spirit. Yes, talk to yourself as you go. Remind yourself today that if you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter. For always, Joseph Cadore, there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. And as we run through the end of the prose piece, it says, and whether it is clear to you or not, no doubt, Krista, that the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations are, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, I declare to you today that life, it is still a beautiful world, that you ought to strive to be happy. That's what you need to do. Continue to strive to be happy. Continue to do your best to be the best version of yourself, and let the chips fall where they may. What else are we doing on this wonderful day? We're just going to take a quick look at the COVID scoreboard, this COVID dashboard, sorry. And on the COVID dashboard, let's see, there's hopefully great news in there. Number of confirmed cases. So as of yesterday, we had 2 confirmed cases. Total active cases 83. New recoveries 4. And have we had any deaths? None of this one. But we can tell you the numbers are going down, and we are grateful that that is the case. Folks, it's a great day. It's a really, really, really great day to be alive. If you do not appreciate the value and virtue of being alive, well, try something else. And if it doesn't quite work, you can come back and talk to us, those that is alive. The morning edition comes up next right here in Classic, reminding you that today, on the 9th, the inspections of fishing vessels, yes, and licensing exercise, that continues. You'll get some more details on that today. There is a scoliosis clinic that is set up for the 11th and the 12th at the General Hospital. You get additional information on that. But if you need to be making an appointment for that exercise, you call 409-9700. Just a bit of information that you need. The morning edition comes up next, right here on Classic in the morning time. Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band.
The 46-year-old security guard's body was discovered hanging inside his home by a relative on Monday. The incident occurred at approximately 12:30 p.m. according to reports. James was last seen on Sunday. Meanwhile, according to officers of the RGPF, 1 man is in police custody after a vehicular accident allegedly took the life of a woman in the St. Andrew area over the weekend. Her family is now crying out for justice as they grieve for their loved one. Rena Pear-Thomas visited the family on Monday and filed this report.
The family of Jean Roberts, also known as Jean Batiste, is crying out for justice for the loss of their sister and mother after her trip from the beach ended in tragedy. The 65-year-old woman of Sobeys St. Andrews was killed after a vehicle collided with her while making her way home on Saturday. Police say the incident occurred at approximately 5:15 p.m. The mother of 2 is allegedly from Munich, St. Andrew, but resided at the Sobeys housing scheme, locally known as Chiney Hill. She was struck by a vehicle less than 2 minutes from her home and was pronounced dead at the Princess Alice Hospital. Her brother, Rudolph Batiste, says that his sister's death should not be left undone.
That I'm looking for justice for my sister. That's all I want. When I came on here, what I see happen, I don't know how to look at that. I don't know how to say about this thing, but all I'm looking for is just justice for my sister. She's a mother, she's a sister, she's a grandmother. She's somebody's daughter. I mean, she's not a dog. You can't kill her and just get away like that. I'm looking for justice.
It is alleged that the vehicle that hit Mrs. Roberts was driving up a hill but experienced mechanical issues, causing it to roll down the hill. One woman who claimed she witnessed the incident shared with GBN what she saw. However, she did not wish to be interviewed on camera.
We were all right on top there, then the car was going up, so same time now the car, I don't know if he stopped or he cut off. I don't know much about that because I'm not a driver. But as the car stopped now, the car just skidding come down. So same time now the lady was coming up, but she head was down. But apparently now the car coming down with short speed now, like by the time she raised up she head, the car was already on her. So the car like he swing from the road, he come skidding down from the grass, and then the car end up bouncing her. And like they end up so same time now the driver and the passenger they heave out from the car, and the rest of the neighbor just fly down and turn over the car to get her out from underneath the car. But the neighbors move real fast to get her from underneath the car. But
the eyewitness expressed her disappointment with the response of the ambulance.
And the ambulance move real lackadaisical. They take real, the man spend almost 45 minutes on the ground there. Plus when they come, there was, I mean, the nurse and I don't know if he's an orderly who came, I find they handled the man real bad, trust me.
The incident is presently under investigation, and up to news time, there was no official charge laid against the driver of the vehicle. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
A top official within the Grenada movement does not believe the resignation of Attorney-at-Law James Bristol is a major blow or setback to the prospects of the political party. Gerard Joseph has been following some developments today.
Chairman of the Interim Management Committee of the Grenada Movement, Michael Church, says his preference was to have James Bristol remain a member of the party. However, he notes that people have the option to enter and exit any political organization.
It is important to understand and to put in context his reason for leaving. As he said briefly, that he felt that we were moving too slowly. So it's not a case of where he had difficulties with the philosophy of the organization, only that he felt that we should have moved at a much more rapid pace.
In an article in the New Today confirming his resignation from TGM, James Bristol is quoted saying it wasn't what he expected it to be and the party was not organized. Bristol, though not commenting further on his resignation, did confirm to GBN he stands by what was stated in the published article. Church, in response, notes that the organization is only 2 months and 1 week old as a political party.
And I'll tell you that it is not an easy task, really working out and building out in the proper manner a political institution that you want to have great longevity in the political landscape of Grenada.
Notwithstanding the challenges of the transition, he notes that TGM is working towards its first convention.
And we've started building out party groups in some of the constituencies. But of course, to have that successful convention that I mentioned, we have to have party groups, well-organized party groups in each and every of the 15 constituencies in Grenada.
The chairman of TGM's Intermanagement Committee is calling on Grenadians to be patient while encouraging citizens to join the party and speed up the process of development.
So our motivation is not just running hot and sweaty. That is not to say that we're not making an effort, hot and sweaty, to participate in an election if it's called tomorrow.
Church also responded to reports that other frontline members of the party resigned from TGM.
I want to reemphasize here, we would want everyone to join with us. Unfortunately, we're not going to have everyone. But I believe in the end, we're going to have the most and the best.
GBN has since been reliably informed that Mrs. Faye Thompson and Mrs. Jenny Rapier have resigned from the party. Both women were active members of the NDC before serving their resignations to the party earlier this year. TGM, via a press release issued on Monday, refuted claims of secret meetings between Patrick Antoine and Prime Minister Dr. Kate Mitchell. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Religious leaders seem to be becoming brutally vocal against leaders, and the picture being painted is not such a pretty one. Last week it was Pastor Stanford Simon. This week it's Pastor Dave King. Cherry and Blackman Stephen has this story.
First, it was Catholic priest Father Albert Smith, based in St. Lucia, addressing the issue of witchcraft, to which former Archdeacon in Grenada Christian Glasgow supported his stance.
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Go and consult how many cemeteries over St. Lucia that were busy a few days before election. We call ourselves Christians. The people who are involved in this thing, they come to the church, they come to the Catholic Church, they come and receive communion. And I mean, you can praise more day, but they're sleeping with the devil to win elections.
Then it was Pastor Stanford Simon's call on Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell to find a successor, as he preached on what he considers a leadership crisis.
Keith Mitchell need to find a successor. He need to find it quick. At his age, at this time, the NMP need to find a successor, somebody that would succeed him.
Now it is Pastor Dave King speaking out about what he refers to as a deception by those who hold the reins of power.
The worst thing that has happened to this nation over the last 18 months or so, and the world, is the deception that is the hidden agenda. The hidden agenda that is perpetrated by the powers that be. Again, I go back to Ephesians chapter 6, where it states that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality and what is outstanding, against powers.
He says there is a spirit in Grenada that controls what he considers to be the 3 C's: conniving, controlling, and confusion. He said that's a true picture of Grenada's situation at present, as he claims that the powers that be are representing a hidden agenda.
The church has allowed the powers that be to infiltrate and divide us. Today, you don't need to have subjects. You don't need to have a degree. You don't need to be qualified to get a job anymore. Just get vaccinated.
He said he believes the church has become a target of the powers that be.
When I talk about the powers that be, I am talking about external powers like World Health Organization and others, government and religious bodies.
Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
The first cruise ship to dock in Grenada this season is expected on Tuesday, as the nation and the rest of the region welcomes the resumption of cruises to the shores. The winter cruise ship season is normally the period the Caribbean holds the most appeal to the U.S. and European markets. Gerard Joseph has more.
Over 200 cruise calls are expected as Grenada Tourism Authority announced the resumption of the cruise ship season, which has been on a hiatus since March 2020. The regulations require all passengers disembarking from the cruise ships to be fully vaccinated while complying with rigorous and thorough protocols. Tours will be done in a bubble to ensure safety of all involved, which demands frontline teams to also be fully vaccinated.
Our fear is that if we do not take up all of these, over 200 calls that are being offered to us, there are other persons, again, as happened in the summertime when we had the offer, they will take it. And we have to ask ourselves, if we keep turning down these offers, for how long will these offers be open to us every season? Will they continue?
Tourism Minister Clarice Modest says they are currently working with the various service providers to become vaccinated, noting the public health risk has to be mitigated to ensure cruise passengers visit all the known attractions. GTA CEO Petra Road says from a record 254 calls in 2018, 205 cruise calls are expected for the incoming cruise ship season.
We will commence tomorrow with Star Clipper with 73 passengers, and then we have Marella and Britannia on Friday, and these calls will be managed in strict accordance with health and safety protocols as guided by the Ministry of Health and global standards in alignment with best practices.
Manager for Nautical Development Nicoyan Roberts says with the protocols, the unvaccinated service providers will not be included in the bubble unless their vaccination status changes.
The tours that have been pre-booked and purchased are with the attractions that have received their pure, safe, travel-approved, fully vaccinated status from the Ministry of Health and the Grenada Tourism Authority.
The first ship will drop anchor on Tuesday in St. George's. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Minister of Infrastructure Nolan Cox says a shortage of building materials is responsible for some of the government's incomplete projects. We get the details in this report.
Several hardware companies in Grenada have confirmed a shortage in some construction material on the island due to delays in shipment. Infrastructure Minister Nolan Cox, in a recent press brief, stated that a shortage of the construction material contributed to some projects not being completed on time.
Unfortunately, I cannot give you I do not have an update as to where that project is right now and what's the reason for the starting and stop. But what I can tell you is that we have been having some challenges in terms of inputs, materials, supplies. Because of COVID, because of the amount of work that we have ongoing in Grenada, there has been a significant demand for materials, lumber, sand, cement, steel. And so I want to suspect that is one of the reasons why you have those stoppages, persons not being able to get material. We also have challenges, and I can tell you we have concrete roads that have been cast, and you have challenges getting concrete from the companies that supply ready-mix concrete because of the demand that we have. So those are some of the issues that are taking place in the background that I believe would contribute to any stoppages of the job.
Providing updates on some of the other major projects across the country, the Infrastructure Minister indicated that the second contractor for the St. John's River flood mitigation project has received the green light to proceed.
Package 1 and 2 was awarded to Creative Design, and they have received a no objection to proceed, and we expect Creative Design to commence work, mobilization work, in the month of November. So we're going to see work starting higher up to the mouth of the river. Creative Design is going to start from around El Apostle throughout to the mouth of the river.
Sunrise Construction was awarded packages 3 and 4 of that project, which is presently ongoing. Their scope of work spans from Steele's Bridge to the back of the LA Purcell building. Another of what he deems an important project is the Extreme Rainfall Project that will see the reconstruction of Brothers Bridge in St. John's as part of the scope of work to be undertaken. 2 contractors are assigned to this project.
The next project that I want to update the public on, and that has to do with the natural disaster rehabilitation and reconstruction, the Extreme Rainfall Project. That's a project that is done in the core of St. John's, and so work is commenced on the Brothers Bridge and a slope stabilization project. That also is the second part of that important project. The contract for that is 2 persons, 2 contractors that will be implementing that phase of that project. That is Sunrise Construction and Gilbert Engineering Company, and we expect to see work start in November for Gilbert and
Christina John.
That was Christina John reporting. In other news, the learning devices issued to primary school students across the island are now equipped with e-books for students learning leisure, as the Ministry of Education launched its e-book program over the weekend. The program aims to furnish students with the tools necessary to learn in a virtual platform, both in and out of the classroom. We get the details in this story.
As the world of technology continues to revolutionize, when it comes to learning, the Ministry of Education is not going to be left behind as it launched its primary school e-book program over the weekend. This means that primary school students are now provided with electrical copies of their books on devices given to them by the ministry. Minister for Education and Religious Affairs, Emmeline Pear, says the introduction of e-books will not only reduce the financial burden on parents, but also the loads in students' backpack.
We have always expressed concern about the number of books that our children have to carry. We have also expressed our concerns, and we have heard the concerns of parents of the cost of books. As we move into our e-books program, this will significantly reduce financial burdens for families, especially our vulnerable families. Of course, this makes reading, this makes studying, this makes researching a lot more exciting for our students. Of course, the access to additional information, videos, resources online is provided through those books.
Curriculum Officer Laureen DeGale says the online and offline access allows students to read the interactive books and practice concepts both inside and outside of the classroom.
It follows the science curriculum guides for the primary level. It follows the standards. It also follows the scope and sequence of science to the T. It really would help students know what to do, when to do it, and it gives them lovely interactive activities. A lot of the activities, yes, some of them are on the ebook themselves, but also many of the activities takes them away from the devices, so they can go out and make a windmill. They can make different hands-on practical things.
Most schools across the island are already equipped with high-speed internet service to support the virtual learning platforms. The ministry has also been working with a broadband provider to assist vulnerable families in obtaining internet at their homes. Julia and Hope Williams, a mother and daughter who had the opportunity to use devices with the e-books, shared their experience.
It was really easy to go through the content, and I learned a lot. It was really informative, and I think that it would be really good for, just the students in the grade 6 to, interact with it, and they're going to learn a whole lot. Why? Because, there's so much information shared there, so much of it that I wasn't even aware of.
It was very easy, and I like that they explain all the things that we didn't understand, and the words that they thought were hard for us. They added the definitions.
With the challenges faced by the education system due to COVID-19 and the drastic adjustment made to ensure teaching and learning continue, the Ministry of Education is expected to roll out a similar initiative in the future. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear Thomas reporting.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Here's Rena Pear Thomas once again.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
Quizzed on tackling unemployment, political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Dixon Mitchell, says the current system is not addressing the actual needs of society. society. He says the agricultural sector has great opportunities to create employment. GBN brought this story, and you, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Emmanuel Charles says, I believe that agriculture is a viable area for sustained employment in Grenada. I pray these ideas be employed and, if already in place, updates to meet the unemployment crisis. Kerrigan Thomas wrote, whichever political party that is in power, they must realize that employment, healthcare, and law and order is the backbone of any country and are the key issues for moving Grenada forward. Joy Noel said, yes, talking about employment is great, but it is time to talk about modern things, better wages, not paying slave wages, and cost way past it. Not only about creating jobs, it's about better wages. And finally, Bernard Bartholomew commented, yes, this is our Thomas Sankara of the Caribbean. Grenada is at the forefront of the Caribbean again for exciting, revolutionary ideas. That's a wrap for tonight's Buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platform.
Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always act when let you come first. Save energy, save a time, we choose your wattage and we choose your time. When you use appliances, we show you buy energy efficient every time. Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always act when let you come first. Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always act when let you come first.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
You have been waiting on it all year. Now it's your chance to make this Christmas better than ever. Get the extra cash you need with a Make This Christmas Better loan from the GUT Credit Union. Get up to $50,000 to celebrate your Christmas and make your holiday dreams come true. Home improvements, new furniture, furniture, a vehicle, debt consolidation, or even a vacation. We can help you get there. Yes, you can. Make this Christmas better with the GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Introducing YouTube and TikTok to the Digicel Prime Bundle. Now get 1 gigabyte daily to enjoy more YouTube. Plus 1 gigabyte daily to like more TikTok videos. It's simply more entertainment bundled together. Get a 7-day bundle for $35 in My Digicel. More apps, more data, more fun. Digicel, better together.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
State-of-the-art Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Have at least a 3-month supply of prescribed medications on hand in the event of an emergency or disaster. Keep medications in a sealed, labeled container that you can carry with you at a moment's notice if you need to evacuate. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from the Pan American Health Organization.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our 2 convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us. Good morning again, and welcome back to our viewers on television. Happy that you're back with us and you stayed with us thus far. For those of you that's on radio, good morning to you again. 7:30 workers, you should already be on the job and getting ready to take up your daily task and responsibility. 8 o'clock workers, we're going to work with you as we seek to get you there on time. If you're on Nations Road, again, reminding you, due care and attention. It remains the watchword at all times. Looking for those who may not necessarily be looking for themselves. As you get on the move today, reminding you, COVID-19 protocols, they're in full effect. Social distancing, sanitization, the wearing of the mask, it's of critical importance. This morning we continue a conversation that we started on Beyond the Headlines some 2 Mondays ago, and it speaks to diabetes, and it's indeed one of the health challenges that have literally crippled, and it has become an ever-present sore point for health officials as one of the chronic ailments that has certainly come to pervade every aspect of our lives as who we are as Grenadians and as a region. This morning we continue to put the conversation under the microscope, looking at the Grenada Diabetes Association, their role and involvement, who these individuals are and what they do. And this morning we have 2 representatives. We have Lady Antonia Sandy and our dear old Palos, haven't seen him in quite a while, Trevor Rodney. My dear lady, sir, good morning and welcome to the program, and how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you for having you. I hope I didn't force you on Julie out of your bed. Well, I know, Rodney, you have to be up and about. So, Lady Sandy, did we force you out of your bed?
Not likely at all.
I'm
a morning person.
You're a morning person.
I'm a morning person.
Well, you're a morning person.
Let me make one correction to my name. Antonia Sandy Antoine.
Antoine. My apologies. Antonia Sandy Antoine. Judy noted and accepted. We don't want to create any confusion at home for you.
Right?
So, my dear Lady Antoine, thank you, Trevor Rodney. You wonderful people are part of an organization that is tasked with helping to manage what is indeed, we do not see it, it's a crisis on island, diabetes. And it's a conversation that we continue to hear from health officials. There's always need for volunteerism, for individuals to come on board to ensure that the association fulfills its mandate across the Tri-Island state. Lady Antoine, we will start with you. This is, of course, the observance of World Diabetes. I know on the 14th, I think, is your day. The 14th is your day. But let's talk about what's happening within your responsibility as part of the Diabetes Association that I know that you so proudly serve.
Thank you for hosting us. And I just want to say that I'm representing the St. George's branch of the Grenada Diabetes Association. But let me just enforce that there is also another branch run by Sister Shirley Matlin, and she does a wonderful job. But 2 years ago, we incepted this branch, which is the St. George's Branch Division A. And so far, we have been out in the community doing the best we can. And I think that we are seeing results because we get feedback from persons, and it's a good initiative. When we started the organization, we had a few things in mind. And our objective is to educate laypersons on the condition, diabetes, that is so prevalent throughout the world, not sparing Grenada, and to assist persons with diabetes to self-manage the condition. Also to encourage family members and friends to be their neighbor's keeper in fighting the condition, and to prevent or halt the complication of diabetes like amputation, eye problems, kidney problems, circulation problems, heart problems. And so far, we have been trying our best to fulfill our goal.
Great, and I know you're proud of what you do. Trevor Rodney.
Thank you.
We know you as a man of the law, a uniform officer. But it's always good when you can have persons in society that they can volunteer of their time to be involved in a philanthropic act. You have responsibility for St. Andrew, do you? What's happening on your side?
Right. I am the PRO for the St. Andrews branch, and of course we all have the same mandate to ensure our trust essentially is first prevention. If we can educate people how to prevent, that is going to be critical. And so that is of course the trust, and that comes with education. And you mentioned essentially the need for volunteerism. That is critical. And hence my role in anything to do with service to humanity. Notwithstanding, I am law enforcement, but anything to do with service to humanity, I certainly would be there once the time affords me. And of course, on St. Andrews, we've been doing that with the limited resources, and I think that would be a good opportunity to encourage more people to get involved, join the association, and our corporate citizens to get more involved. We thank those that have contributed thus far, but we need much more to be on board. You did mention in your introductory remarks that diabetes becoming an issue, serious issue for health professionals and indeed family members. It's going to affect our socio-economic situation if we do not manage it now. I mean, and November being, we in fact on the 14th, as was mentioned, is World Diabetes Day. But the association, having understood the magnitude of the work we have to do in terms of education and otherwise, we are going on a month drive to be able to sensitize, to provide as much information as possible, to see if we can collaborate as much as possible to fight that situation that is becoming a real challenge for everybody. So from St. Andrews' perspective, we've been on the ball, and we have some initiatives planned within the context of this celebration on a national basis.
Right.
The various, as Mrs. Antoine would say have said to you, we will have various initiatives within our local to be able to reach those people within our local, as well as our national drive from some of the programs that have gone on before. We realize that we have some national drive. So we're trying to do it big this time to bring the sensitization. We realize that a lot of people, notwithstanding, they're not aware and therefore they're not involved, and you find that although there are some help, there are quite a bit of help available, but some people, because of lack of knowledge and probably interest or whatever, I don't know exactly, can't put my finger on the pulse, but they are not accessing, and so that is where we come in this month, and of course I am, from the league perspective, from the GDA, the Grenada Diabetic Association, I am the vice president, and therefore I want to thank all the various branches out there for the enormous job that they've been doing in terms of this drive.
Indeed. It's a humanitarian plea that certainly it is as a concern that needs to be addressed immediately and with an all-hands-on-deck approach. Lady Antoine, Mr. Rodney spoke of the need to manage, that diabetes is a management process. We also talk about the idea of preventative care. We are going to talk to them and get into the activities. But what in your mind, Lady Antoine, is one of the biggest misperceptions regarding diabetes?
In Grenada, Mr. Cadore, you really want to know?
Tell me.
This is how I put it: acceptance of the condition. Some people are just not accepting the fact that they have diabetes. They will tell you, they will give you 1,001 different stories. Although the doctor would confirm that there is diabetes, they are suffering from diabetes, they would not accept it. So the first thing is acceptance of the illness. And the other thing is our cultural fix that, oh, I don't have diabetes, somebody's after me, somebody did something to me, that's why I feel that way. So a lot of that has a lot to do with it. The misbelief and the unacceptance of the illness. I would also say that people are not very good at going forward and opening up themselves to let people know that they need help. We have resources in Grenada. Preventative care in Grenada is, I would give it a B+. And they need to seek help in the medical station. They need to seek help from the ministry. There, we have our center at in Tantine, the Grenada Diabetes Association. Our building is we are in Tantine in the Fire Brigade building, right across the street from the old Regal Cinema. And we are open Monday through Friday, and anybody can walk in and get information. But we are also finding that people are not doing that. Hence the reason for programs like this, to spread the word and to let people know that we are out there to help them. In addition to that, we try to host as much presentations as we can in churches, in schools. We have addressed PTAs, we have addressed situation in churches. We go to churches and do forums. We are out there doing health fairs. And it's amazing what we learn from people when we do the health fairs. Some people are just ignorant of the fact. And once you sit with them, they open up and they really accept your advice. But our situation now is how to get people to follow up. Yes, I have diabetes. What am I doing about it? The doctor gives me some medication. I go home, I take it, it's finished, and that's it. My neighbor tells me to boil some bush. I boil the bush, and I drink it also. So are we letting the doctors know what we are doing so they can make adjustment to your medication regime? So I think the biggest problem is persons not adhering to the medication regime. They're not adhering to, just as how we give a prescription now for medication. In some areas, they are giving prescription for exercise program, for meal program, so you can follow that. We get an air and we talk about live a healthy lifestyle, but you'd be surprised that persons don't really understand, well, sweet biscuit is good food. A lot of starch is good food, but the whole thing is, how are we moderating that? How are we balancing that? With diabetes, you just can't just put anything in your mouth. You have to balance what you eat. And if you live a healthy lifestyle, you really don't have to worry about your diabetic diet so much, because it's so in keeping with a healthy heart diet. For instance, I'm not diabetic, but I don't use salt. I mean, very little salt I add to my food. Sugar, I drink my juice and I put a lot of ginger in it and I'm fine. And I'm not diabetic. Right. But people have to make that shift. We have to make that mindset that we need to step up on how we eat, how we live, and enhance our lives by what we do. Right. It's always business as usual. But why is it business as usual when it's always causing a problem down the road? Why are we creating a problem to fix a problem? So let's see what we can do on the preventative side to not have this happen. Another thing is people are not aware of their family history. And that doesn't necessarily mean that because mommy and daddy has diabetes, I'm going to get it. But it's putting you in the forefront to be aware that it's likely that you can get it. And as such, from now, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to take care of myself. Bottom line, take care of yourself. What do you have to do to take care of yourself? Simple things. You wake up in the morning, you do some stretches. Even during COVID, people were complaining that, oh, we cannot go outside. But what's about around the yard? Right. What's about around the house? So what's about a few stretches right inside your living room? So there are things we can do. I think we need to look at solution to problems more instead of looking at the problem and leaving it there.
Being solution oriented.
Our situation here is to educate.
Educate. Trevor Rodney, and I think Miss Sandy Antwine, she has encapsulated it quite nicely. There's a culture that last evening I was saying to Ms. Davis that diabetes, Trevor, is seen as a death sentence. Nobody wants to die. And nobody goes around with a flag saying, folks, I'm going to die. So because of that perception, do you think, and historically, Trevor, people they become very closed in to their situation because, you know what, I don't want nobody to know I have, because of those perceptions, I don't want nobody to know that I am diabetic. And as such, that acceptance factor, it becomes a challenge, and everything thereafter is downhill from them. Trevor?
Certainly, but there is a glimmer of hope, no? We've seen as we begin to go into the community, disseminate information, hold these health fairs, we are seeing a slight change, which is encouraging.
Right.
And that is why we have done our homework. And based on our homework, we realize there has to be a greater trust in terms of going into the community and reaching the ordinary people with the information and so on. Because when we do these health checks, I know of situations where health checks were done, health fairs and so on, and people who are advised to go to the hospital based on their reading. Because somebody walking around and their blood sugar is at a level that require them to be hospitalized for immediate treatment. So that is where the education. But again, yes, some people hide the fact that a lot of myth in relation to when you take the medication, you're going to get slim or thin, and everybody would know you have diabetes and you have sugar. You know this thing about quote unquote you have sugar, and it becomes like a kind of stigma. But
Yes.
but I'm saying that from the inception. But as you get treatment and as you manage yourself, you live well and you live a comfortable life without being exposed to the complications that we see from time to time. One of the things that we want to stress, though, is a lot of times you pick up the complication. As a matter of fact, from a layperson, the information that we advise that by the time it is picked up that you come down with the condition, it would have been 3-4 years. You would have had the condition.
Right.
So hence, and by that time, it is in a place probably borderline in terms of being reversed, because diabetes can be reversed. Some people have shared testimony that they have reversed the diabetes by taking action as alluded by Mrs. Antwine. Exercise, your medication, don't joke with stress and all these things. If you live a positive, focused life, a lot of these issues, these challenges can be reversed because they interfere with your whole physiology and your whole psychology and so forth. And so it is important to do that, and hence education. You have to start there. We have also discovered that juvenile diabetes has been a concern also. You go to the schools and you do health fairs and so on, and you realize that a lot of the students, they are diabetic. And so it is so important that the education is being done on a greater scale, and you'll see a number of programs. And we also at this juncture thank the GBN for being a partner in that regard. That is probably about the third program that we've had in GBN in terms of that whole awareness, that whole campaign against diabetes knowledge and so forth. So that is important.
And let me just add to what Pastor Rodney just said. And I have to tweet my words very carefully because I'm addressing the public. I just want to say to the Grenadian people, let's be less judgmental about illnesses. Someone has HIV, someone has diabetes, and they are labeled, they are stigmatized. Someone has cancer, and they are stigmatized. We are too advanced for this. We are much too advanced for this. Another thing is, let's see how we can help persons when we know that they have a condition. Let's see how we can help them instead of kicking them to the curb. And as I wrote an article on diabetes just last week, and one of the things I mentioned is that we all have a cross to bear. My cross may be diabetes. Somebody else's cross may be cancer. Somebody else's cross may be problems with the marriage. Somebody else's cross may be problems with the children. So we all have our cross to bear. So if you have diabetes, that's your cross to bear. Carry your cross. And bear in mind that there are people out there that's willing to help you, and stop putting yourself on the back burner and hiding everything, and we cannot help you. Let's say you're on the job and someone know you're diabetic and all of a sudden you pass out. It's likely somebody may say, well, you know what? Maybe she's having a low blood sugar. Let's see what we can do.
Right.
But when you keep everything within yourself as a secret, how can we help you? What is the stigma? We all have a cross to bear. Let's bear our cross. Yes, carry our cross with pride and get help and see how we can manage the diabetes. And I agree with Pastor Rodney that type 2 diabetes is reversible if we manage it well.
We've talked about the management. We've talked about the management process. We talked about preventative care, and that has always been part of the primary health care system. How do we prevent? Because easier to if we prevent it, we don't have to go through into the crisis of having now to change mindsets. Why don't we start that from day one? But let's look at male versus female, gentlemen. We talk about changing the culture. We talk about acceptance. Is there any stats that would show, Trevor Rodney, which of the sexes seem to be more acceptable and open to their condition in terms of being able to deal it? I know us men, we holding on to this thing. No, it's not that. It's just today. Maybe had an extra glass of juice. Maybe that's why it high. Maybe this and maybe that. What's the findings? How do you deal with that in terms of getting the message out there and dealing with gender-wise?
Well, generally, my observation, I don't have hard stats at the moment, but my observation, the female have accepted the condition and have worked on it, I believe, to my mind, better than men. And there is one thing that men fear, and I suppose you also would know the one thing that men fear when it comes to diabetes, and because of lack of information. You know one thing that men fear, and that has been a serious crisis in terms of coming forward. But I want to advise men that if you come forward, if you have the condition, come forward, go to your establish a relationship with your medical practitioner. He or she would give you the necessary information, at least to start. This thing about, and I want to emphasize the fact that Mrs. Antoine spoke about, this thing running on wild bush and say drinking spice. So you know how much spice to drink, or you know how much ginger to drink.
But
how you know how much?
But I've been drinking. But lady, sir, I've been drinking bush since I'm born. My granny drink it and it help her. What's wrong if I drink some bush? Huh?
but you see, the thing is, but it may help her for one condition, but you don't know. So really, the safety. Because for instance, you may drink bush and I have no difficulty. I drink bush. You may drink bush for a particular condition, but you don't know if it affects something else. If it affects some other condition. So you might come down with another condition, and you don't know if it is the side effect of the quantity that you take. Yes, it may deal with that particular issue, but so that is the risk there. And that is why it is important to work with your medical practitioner and those persons who are trained in the field. It is extremely important. But back to the issue of men, generally you would find that, for instance, if you go to the hospital, you'll find more men are likely, to my mind, to be amputated. I've spent a while in the hospital, and I in the area where they were treating male medical patients, I saw more men. When I compare, I saw more men there than women. So that probably sense in terms of amputation, I think you see more men than women.
True.
And it means that women probably exercising better care and better control, because when a man fears that he is affected with diabetes, he fear what is the PhD? He fear PhD, and that is the problem. I know you want to ask me what is PhD.
Well, but if you don't tell me, I'll ask you. No, I mean, Trev, you know I'm going to ask you because I can see my lips quivering to ask you already.
And that is why within the context of being proactive in terms of education and so on, that is also a presentation that will be plugged in this month awareness drive, men's sexual health, because that is one of the greatest fear of men. Their sexual health can be affected by the diabetes in terms of treatment and all of that. But again, that is a myth. If you have the proper information, that is a possibility. If you do not control, if you do not take care, like with everything else.
Right.
And that is not the only disease that can affect you, that can affect your sexuality. That is not the only thing, but there is, because of this stigma that goes around, that if you have diabetes, you would at some point in time you would experience
well, here's what we're going to do. I have to take a quick commercial break, though. Quick commercial break for a 30-second break. When we come back, we're going to continue with the conversation. And then, because I know you also would want to get in some of the activities that you're engaging in during the month. Quick 30-second commercial break. And we'll be right back, right here on Classic in the Morning Time.
Feel good facts. Avoid the most common causes of spreading the flu. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue, dispose of it straight away, and either wash your hands or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Band. We're getting ready to head back to our viewers on GBN television. This morning we're speaking to representatives from the Grenada Diabetes Association, and we have with me is Antonia Sandy Antoine and Trevor Rodney, and certainly we've been engaging them on the challenge of diabetes, living with the condition. Coming out of this conversation, gentlemen, lady and sir, as you keep your eyes on the clock, 12 minutes onto the hour, we've agreed that management of the disease is of critical importance. We talked about preventative care. When we broke though, Trevor Rodney, we talked about one of the challenge to getting men to come forward. Women, it seems, as in most cases, they seem to accept those things much easier. And even that, to women, 90% of the time, more inclined, if they recognize something, they would visit the doctor. But I'm going to leave you alone for a while, Trevor Rodney, and I'm going to throw it over to Lady Antoine. And I know she's going to give me, I want to hear her response to this. Before the break, we talked about the challenge men that there is and the stigma attached to your inability to function as a male. that sexuality challenge that if I get diabetes, boy, I'm going to lose my manhood, and from there onwards, life goes south. As a woman, what would your response be to any male, any person that takes that position on diabetes?
I think you know the answer to this, Mr. Caleb. I think you know what I would tell them? Get real. Life is real. Life is not a fairy tale. Life is not a fairy tale. If you have diabetes, you have diabetes. And that's the bottom line. If you have diabetes, you have to accept the fact that you have diabetes, and you have to tell yourself, I will get help. Because as we said, with the management of diabetes, certain things can be halted or maybe not there at all. So I would tell men, get off the high horses and shift gears a little bit. A lot of times men stick to the friends and they can't take the tobacco. They can't take the heat. They can't take the teasing. They can't take they can't get away from the 3 for 10. And as such, they want to be with that same group.
Right.
Sometimes you have to remove yourself from certain situation in order to heal, in order to move forward. And that's what men need to do. They need to first accept the fact that they have this condition. And if you are with a partner that's very understanding and love is in the mix, that person has to work with you. End of story. Love is not only about sex. It's a package. So while this is happening, your partner has to work with you, help you seek help. I can really tell you, dealing with persons with diabetes, male with diabetes, it's not easy. But if the love is there and that mother figure is there, things can happen. I know a person who's been diabetic for the past 40 years and have never been hospitalized, no skin issue, no kidney issue, no heart issue, and that person is 72 years old. So,
okay.
And he's been diabetic for over 40 years. And I'm talking about my husband. But because I'm a little mother hen, he's able to get that far. Because I constantly have to remind him that life has its pitfalls. Everything you do have consequences. My grandchildren remind me of that. Grandma, consequences.
Right.
What are you talking about? Well, if you do this, you have a negative response. If you do this, you get a positive response. So I would say, let's go back to acceptance. Let's go back to people around you that can help you and help put you through this in a good way. And choose a MD, choose a medical practitioner that you can really talk to.
And I'm assuming though, Lady Angela, that all of that, it forms part, folks, of that comprehensive management process. So managing diabetes is not just about saying, let me eat this, let me eat that. You also have to consider what's happening mentally, your friends, the people that surround you, that supporting cast. It is just as important, isn't it?
Yes, and to me, in order to make your body function effectively, you have to start with your mind.
Start with the mind.
What do I want from this? And I'm going to be very public because I've lived in the United States for too long, so we don't hide a lot of stuff. You know what my husband said to me last night? You know, I am taking care of myself now. I don't want to end up on dialysis. I don't want to end up in piece of food, like we call it in Grenada.
Right.
I don't want an amputation. And as such, after all these years, he's come to reason. He's come to reason that what I do would determine the outcome of my life. And it's working. So to people out there, is it easy? No, it's not easy. Persons with diabetes get depressed. They get discouraged from sticking the finger all the time. But once you put your mind to it, sticking your finger comes easy. And as I said, if you accept that illness, and if you are not sure as to what we mean by managing your diabetes. For instance, I monitor about 5 persons in my community, and I just chat with them. And I give them little advice that they receive well. Well, you know, I had 4 bananas this morning and a glass of milk. I would say, did you add some tomatoes with that? Or did you boil some okra with that?
Right.
I said, what was your blood sugar before meal? Depending on the number, I would say, why 4? Why not 2?
Right.
You know, why not put 4 okras in your plate or 6 okras in your plate and lessen on the bananas? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying green bananas are not good for diabetes. Bananas has lots of nutrients, a whole lot of nutrients. But again,
the balancing act.
The balance, the quantity, how much you eat. Let your plate look pretty. There's a lot of okra, there's a lot of avocado around now. There's a lot of fiber in it. Any food with fiber can help you. And then when you look at diabetes now, you don't just have to look at the condition diabetes, because all the organs are interrelated. They depend on one another to function.
Right.
You have to maintain good health with your kidney. You have to maintain good health with your heart. And as such, it calls for the same principle: a healthy heart diet, you know, eating healthy and managing what you do and the portions. That's what we are emphasizing.
So
the other thing,
I think we have to cut, because I just want to stop because we quickly running out of time. And the truth is, we have not even, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't even delved anything. We haven't scratched the surface on this conversation as yet. And so I know we'll have to do another episode. And I know there's so much that we can talk about. The 14th is World Diabetes Day. And I know before we run, while we do have to return, we would certainly want to point at some of the activities, Mr. PRO, some of the activities that would be done to highlight and the observance of the day.
Certainly. And in fact, I just want to remind what the international theme, access to diabetes care, if not now, when? Critical to what we do. And of course, we have customized our theme in Grenada, access to diabetes care and awareness in the face of COVID-19. And therefore, from the St. Andrews branch, we'll be having a health fair on Friday at the YWCA building in Grenville, that is close to the car park. And we are encouraging all members of the public, business places and so on, to come in and get your tests. You're getting tested for your cholesterol, blood sugar testing, blood pressure level testing, and BMI screening. All these are important for you to have an idea of where you are. We are going to be also having a walk at Progress Park. We're inviting the community again to participate with us on Sunday, coming at 3:30 p.m. Sunday, coming at Progress Park. And that is important. We also, every Friday, going forward, in the month of November, we are partnering with the Leo Club East, and of course St. Andrews Development Organization, what we call Blue Friday, where we feature our blue t-shirts or blue color to show the unity against the fight for diabetes, and it is reflected in the international unity circle.
Right.
All collaboration of all and sundry. We also want to mention that we are collaborating. We are in collaboration with the IDF, International Diabetes Federation, and also regional. So we have regional counterparts. We have our international counterparts. It's a holistic approach. But of course, given the magnitude of the situation, we're still encouraging all to get on board. If all can get on board, at least have some knowledge as to how to prevent, then we can surely reduce significantly the effect of the diabetic consequences for our nation.
I want to just give Lady Sandy 2 minutes, and I do apologize. I know for the folks on radio that's expecting the BBC, we do apologize, but I'm assuming that you would forgive me given the nature of this. Lady Antoine, I'm stealing 2 minutes from the BBC's time and its ardent listeners. What's happening in your constituents?
Mr. Cato, it's similar to what Pastor Rodney mentioned for St. Andrews. On the 17th, we have partnered with GOB, Grenada Association of Retired Persons, and the Seventh-day Adventist Health to host a health fair on the grounds of GOB in Tantine. And on the 30th, there's going to be one again in Grandance. The location we have not finalized yet, either the Spice Mall or the Food Fair Shopping Center. We have a small team that's going to be going swimming, and I walk with people in my community all the time. The little small group in my community, I meet with them and chat with them. I do give information in my local church just about every Sunday. So we are on the same path. We are encouraging people to wear the blue on Fridays, and as we said, the 14th is World Diabetes Day. And another thing we do is we call persons at home after the fair to follow up to see, well, have you made any changes since you've been to the health fair?
Right.
One message I want to give to people out there this morning is that take care of yourself. We are a little blasé about everything, but I think an ounce of prevention is better than a whole pound of cure.
An ounce of prevention.
I just want to thank you for hosting us, and may God bless.
An ounce of prevention is better than a whole pound of cure. That is the parting words. My guest this morning, Antonia Sandy Antoine and Pastor Trevor Rodney. My dear lady, gentlemen, good morning and thank you. And I do promise you, we definitely need to have another and some continuous engagement on this topic. Thank you very much, though, for being part of the program.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's 2 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. Again, I do apologize. We take a quick, we're not taking a quick commercial break. We break away quickly. Again, remind you, at the top of the hour, that's 9 o'clock to the point. Thanks for all of those of you that listened. Indeed, it was a pleasure being here with you as we send you to the BBC for a bulletin of news that's already in progress.